Well, nothing fancy today, no brilliant action or anything practical. All we're going to do today is just take a little stroll around the property as a bit of a guided tour on foot. So just sit back and relax, grab yourself something to drink and enjoy. Okay, here we go. This is coming down into our driveway. We're just about to cross our little creek here, which is Coles Creek. We've had a bit of rain lately, so the water's a little bit murky. But that's the upstream end. As you can see, it's quite a nice little creek. It used to be a big log jam up in there, but a couple of floods have sorted that out. But quite often after a flood rain we've got to get down here and clean out these drains because they get clogged up with logs and branches and general junk, and that just makes it worse when the water comes over the top. And this concrete crossing is what gives us access. But we'll nip over to the other side here and see the exit. This is the downhill, the downstream side. Gotta watch my footing here. There's a lot of algae on the water. This is a favourite spot for a local heron to sit on the pipe here and watch for little fish and things coming through. I have seen all sorts of things over the years. We have found, have been down here very early in the morning and found platypus, and on one occasion a lungfish, which is quite interesting. The lungfish is endemic to the Mary River, and of course this creek runs into the Mary River, so it's quite possible for it to find its way up in here. But it's just interesting to look at the trees and the growth around the creeks. There's blue blackbutt, but a lot of on the edge of the creek here is black bean and red bean trees which grow. You occasionally find the seed pods, or beans as they call them, and some of them turn them into little boats to float. Here's a look over our neighbour's property, a 7-acre on our side. It used to be ours, we sold it many years ago. The grass is looking very nice, even though it's winter time because of the recent rain. Normally in the winter time we would have quite brown grass, etc. And over on this side of the easement is the start of our property. And this is a bit of local architecture here. That's used to be the old banana packing shed, and as you can see I've got a bit of timber packed in there now from the days when I was collecting wood. This is on this side is mainly crow's ash, which is a local timber. It's quite a good quality timber. This was a tree that was endangered by the dam we put in, so I had to cut it. And on the other side here we've got a wide variety of timbers here. The pile on the left there is mainly mango from an extremely old tree, which I'm going to get to one day. And on the other side of this heap's quite a wide variety sort of thing. It's interesting to look at the examples of architecture, such as this Leaning Tower of Pizza, is not quite. We're waiting for the day for it to fall over a little bit. But you never know. I might get up there and cut the roof in half and try and save half of it. Swinging down towards the dam. As you may be able to see, there's the dam with the dam wall on the left of it. And as we get closer, you can probably see a little bit more of it. It's roughly about 2 acres of water. And the depth when we first came here was about 25 foot deep. Probably a little bit less nowadays because of the bit of silt and things that crop up from time to time. I may be stumbling a bit here because I'm walking over muddy ground and stuff, but that's looking up towards the head of the dam. And we come down here to the majestic pump house with the old Lister diesel, which always gives me plenty to do at times. She's an old girl, old 3-cylinder 18 horsepower diesel, which sometimes takes quite a bit of coaxing to get it up and running, but it's all part of the game. Just when the water lilies are flowering, it's all very pretty. We've only got purple water lilies in here at the moment. Probably you do get a few of the local ducks and things coming in to help us keep it clean. And on the other side of the dam there is the Mandarin Orchard. We'll take a little stroll across the face of the dam there. Okay, so from on the top of the dam wall, looking straight up the dam, we'll do a slow little pan around here, and that's looking across the top of the dam. This used to be our driveway at one stage. Looking down the face of the dam, I try to keep it mowed down the bottom, or slashed because of the just to keep the jungle down. It's actually quite steep here. I used to drive the old tractor up and down this dam wall to keep it clear, and now that I've got another tractor, I'll give it another go. The mower can do it, but it makes hard work of it. And on this side of the dam we have what's left of a rather beleaguered Mandarin orchard. They were planted or transplanted here in the late 1980s, but they were already advanced when they were transplanted, so probably the shock of it knocked them around a little bit. We'll wander up to the end and sample them. Some of these are really sweet stuff too. Even though they're small trees, this year they're putting on quite a few, and of a good size as well. At first, a few moments looking down on the dam from the eastern side. You can see the old pump house on the other side. But yeah, it's nice and still. It's a lovely spot. We can walk around this dam for a bit of exercise too. We have a really good crop of purple top here this year, so we'll just skim through that and make our way up to our bountiful little mandarin tree. There's still quite a few left on here, so we'll have to get in and raid them in the next couple of days, or they'll all end up on the ground. There's one. A little bit hot in the sun. You need to get over here and liberate them. There's a good score in that lot there. We'll have to get in amongst it and see what we can get out of that. There's bound to be a few in there. Okay, time to get adventurous. We're just going to follow a little kangaroo trail down through the scrub here and try and circumnavigate the dam. This is going to take a little bit of clawing away, and after the rain last night there's a very good chance that we're going to get wet. Hopefully you don't get wet, because it'll make for a blurry image. Oh yes, lantana with all its spikes. Oh, this is going to be pretty rugged. Between the lantana and the wetter wilds and things here, you get the unsteady images here, you're going to have to hang on to it, because that's all I can do to stay upright. Right, now if you can make out this little gap in the bushes here. That's where the kangaroos come belting through. Whoa, getting tight now. I'm definitely going to have to come in here and cut a lot of this out. Otherwise we'll never be able to walk through here. Puff and pant. Right, out into the open a little bit now. And this is looking across the neighbour's property. And all of this is the catchment for our dam, which is really quite an enormous amount of water. And when it all comes down in a hurry, it makes for a big mess and very deep water across our driveway. But we'll push on. We'll swing around here and see what we can find. Trying to walk steady with a camera in hand is a new skill I have to learn. The camera I have is very adept. It's a little DJI Pocket 2, which has a 3-way gimbal on it, but it's still a challenge. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go down towards the dam there. You can see the water over there. We're going to go down this extremely steep hill. But I have added a little rope down through there to aid. So I'm going to get myself settled first before I tackle it. Okay, I just had to take a neutral density filter off the front of the camera because it was way too dark down in here. So we'll just clamber our way down the hill here, which is severely overgrown now, and more broken sticks and things than I recall. Oops. Look out, I just tried to steady myself on a tree. There it goes. Okay, a bit of an adventure there. Somewhere in the tangle of branches and trees and things and vines, I managed to switch the camera off. Nevertheless, we'll push on. Hello. I just realised I've just walked over the most enormous old bush turkey's nest there. Probably can't see it there, that bit of a mound up over there. It's quite huge. Very, very old, that one. We'll have to come down here and pare it a bit for the compost heap. Anyway, we're back down in front of the dam, or behind the dam if you prefer. Okay, now we'll turn around the other way and take a stroll up towards the dam. This is the way the watercourse comes. So we'll pardon me, risk a bit of strangler vine or something here to see if we can have a look. But it's quite a nice little spot. Get the birds down here sometimes, and water birds as well. It's not a bad little place to come for a bit of quiet. We've made ourselves a little hiking track around here that goes here and then up to the top of the hill. It's really just a kangaroo trail, so you've got to be feeling a little bit fit to get the most of it. Luckily there's not too much water down here at the moment, so it's working out pretty good. With in a flood rain, this is just, there'll be at least 6 foot of water coming through here. This was all just jungle and rubbish as well once, but I've since cleaned it out. Cleaned this out with a little John Deere mower. Well, it's a big John Deere mower, but it took quite a little bit of hacking about. Got stuck a couple of times, but and this is basically what was in there when I started. This is about, I'd take a punt and say about 5 meters high, all this sort of stuff. There we go, just to give you a bit of a gauge of size of this the banana grass. It just keeps on keeping on, this stuff. It was over quite a bit of the property, originally planted on the property as a windbreak for the bananas when we had the bananas here, but it gets a bit out of control. But, the only way to stop it, I think, is to either dig it out or spray it. And unfortunately I don't want to spray down in here too much because of all the water comes through here to feed the dam. Well, working up into the back paddock here, this was all cleared in the last year or two by myself on the little John Deere mower, which is quite a beast when it gets amongst the lantana and things, but took quite a bit of work. And being basically Ceteria, this grass here is a very clumping sort of grass, an extremely tough sort of thing to deal with, so it took quite a bit. The more you mow it, the more widespread it gets too. It's really good stuff. We've got this huge big tree here which periodically drops a limb or two, and that makes for a bit more work for cleaning up. But we'll wander back now along one of the old banana trails here. These trails just go up and down the hill in a straight line, and they're simply for access to the banana plots. But I didn't want to spray the chemicals, so we no longer have any bananas. They can't compete with the grass and they demand an awful lot of water. This is one of the other banana roads going up the side of the hill that I have cleared to a degree. You've got to stay on it all the time because the grass can get well ahead of you in the spring and summertime. Now that it's winter time, things have slowed down a little bit, so we'll be able to get on and do a few other things. Usually in the summertime it's full-time mowing. It's not bad. I try to keep this path open because it gives me access to the back half of the back paddock, and it's also handy if you ever had a bushfire, getting access. Okay, well, having doubled our elevation now coming up this trail, this is the very top of this particular trail, and we'll pan around here and you can see Mount Karura at Pomona, which is about 450 metres or so thereabouts above sea level, and down into the valley where the back paddock is, sort of thing. So it's quite scenic, and we'll continue on round the corner here and start going downhill. And this way, more than a little puff now. Normally come up here on wheels. We'll make our way down here now, which is fairly steep. It's actually a lot easier when you're sitting on a four-wheel drive vehicle, and downhill's where you start to get the wobbly knees. But at least the grass hasn't regrown that much since the last mowing, so the winter time's holding it back. We'll see how we go when we get to the bottom. Here we are approaching the bottom of the hill and back into the back of the back paddock. Now this area here to my left is the favourite resting spot for the local kangaroos, and as you can see through there is yet another old turkey's nest, which I will claim for compost one day. So I'll come back up here with the loader on the tractor and pull it out. We're getting to the stage now of getting some raised garden beds and things, so it all helps. But yeah, this back area was cleared by a Positrack forest mulcher about 6 months ago, and it was all basically like that, just complete jungle, which is really tough going. The lantana can be had by the equipment I have, but it makes hard going of it, whereas the forestry mulcher can come in and smash it about in no time flat. But this is the result down here. As you can see, all the smashed lantana, and all I've got to do now is spot spray the tobacco bush, as you can see, with the broadleaf herbicide, and get that under control until the grass takes over again. But that just opens up into the back paddock again. And that's where I was standing over there before. One of the byproducts of having an extinct volcano nearby in Mount Karura is a property littered with rocks, and I've been gradually going around the property picking them up, especially now that I have a loader on the front of the tractor. That's made life a lot easier, because the land here is just completely covered in rocks. These little mounds and things that we come across are usually covered in rocks underneath, and they make quite a noise when they hit the blade of the mower and slasher. And a little stroll through the azaleas in the back of the house. We've got to do a little surgery on this tree up here too, because it drops a lot of leaves and little flowers in the water tank. The back embankment is another work in progress. One day it'll all get finished. And this is what happens to a jade plant when you take it out of the pot and put it into the ground. It's quite enormous. You look at the height way up there somewhere, and the way it spreads, very thick trunks, but very spectacular little plant anyway. Well, that's about it for today. Next time you might go for a walk up the hill. Thank you.